Now we're broadcasting live. You can certainly
Grand.
So why don't you tell the story of Grand?
Negative, sir. TMI, even for the internet.
Grand is for those that you don't know, it's the orcish battering ram in Lord of the Rings, and we'll just keep it at that, I guess.
Yes.
So ho ho ho. This is the Christmas edition of Blades and Blasters Tet Talk here with Zypher and Bo, and maybe Ghost later, and whoever else would like to join. We have no viewers yet, of course, but for those that are still here, next month. What's next month, Zypher? Tell them.
Recruiting month. We bring the greens in and mulch them down.
Yeah. So we're looking for a few.
Feed the greens into the wood chipper.
We're looking for a few good men or women to join us next month, and hopefully we will find you. Be posting our recruiting spiel across the internet coming up in 4 days. The 27th, I believe, is when we're going to do it. And then we'll have games ready for you the first week of January. I know there's several one-shots already ready or in process and will be ready. Bo, what are you going to run?
I'm going to run a Matrix game, like the Matrix movie. The name of the game is There Is No Spoon. It's a kind of a free game you can find on the internet. It's pretty rules light. But it can really showcase a player's ability to role play, kind of action stuff, a lot of gung fu, and just kind of all around badassery and hacking, that sort of thing. So I'm going to make that happen hopefully sometime in January. It'll be fun. Good thing for veteran Blades and Blasters to jump into, and a good thing for the new recruits to jump into to showcase off their skills.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yep,
indeed.
I will be running Simbaroom and Other Dust, at least. Other Dust, if you're not familiar with it, is a Stars Without Number supplement for first edition Stars Without Number, but we're going to use mostly the second edition rules, except the skill list for Other Dust, which is primarily first edition. So if you know anything about that, just a lot more skills. But we'll do that, and then Simbaroom. I think that's us. I don't know if Zypher, you're doing anything, right?
No, I'm not doing anything. Okay. I'm just here to watch.
Yeah, he's just going to watch.
Let the boy watch. Executioner.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Then I think otherwise, there's Chronicles of Darkness going to get run. Only War will be run. I believe Demon Gate will be run. That might be it. Not sure. I don't remember exactly. Oh, Demi said he'll run Fate too.
I think that if we have a excess of greens, we're going to make a conscious effort to make room for everybody to play.
Oh yeah,
so that's
absolutely.
not going to be a problem. I will put in an extra effort to run games. I'll run the same game over and over again, even if we have new players. It's not going to be a problem.
Yeah,
we're here to serve the people.
Yeah, you guys will definitely get in games next month. So, if you do watch this, nobody's watching right now, but if you do, and a lot of actually people come to our fan club page through these videos, not knowing that we actually have a Discord fan club that you can join. This would be the first way to either just hang out with us, talk about gaming, whatever, or potentially joining our group to play. The fan club server is not where we usually do that kind of stuff, but it is the first step in getting to our play server and talking to us and then playing some games. So if you watch our games and you like what you see and you're interested in playing with us and you think you can do what we do and you like what we do, then please, by all means, Discord. It is, you can find it primarily in the front of our YouTube page. There's a link to it. Or you can look in our, I think it's a trailer video in the description. It's there too. I'll try to put it in the description of this video too. So if you're seeing it afterwards, you can just click that button and then go straight to our fan club page. So what is topical, guys? What do you want to talk about?
Any new games coming up after the Green Drive?
No, not really.
No, not really.
I don't think so. There's a couple that are new. Warhammer 4th Edition. Doc says he's going to run that, so that's newish. Otherwise, I don't really believe so. Everything's kind of in the middle right now.
Talk a little bit about what our mission is and what we're about. What as a group, what our values are, that sort of thing. If you want to join Blades and Blasters, we are kicking off a recruiting drive, and we would just love to have more players. More players, as far as we're concerned, the better, because we're a campaign-focused group. That number one, we focus on campaigns and making sure that we play a lot of different games, but not only do they start, but they actually finish, which in my opinion is a little bit of an exception when you come to internet role-playing games. And number two, we're a group of people that just kind of love to hang out with each other, like to socialize and that sort of thing. And number three, and this is important too, we are a group that, we all, well, most of us or many of us have families. We're busy guys or busy ladies. We have kids, we have jobs and that sort of thing. And so when we make schedules, we like to make sure that people stick to those schedules. We tend to not bail at the last minute. Yeah, we get it. Stuff happens. You have to work overtime or the kid's sick. We understand. But overall, we're a group of gamers that if you join us, if you play with us, if you mesh well with our personalities, then we're going to be reliable. I think that's kind of where we stand. Those are our kind of core values. I don't know what Tet and Zypher has to say about that, but
yeah, I mean, I think my take on these things are pretty simple. If you have the time right now with wherever you're in life, then come join us, because most of the people on the server are at a space where they can play games, they like playing games, and like hanging out with each other. So sometimes our, how do you say, zeal for playing can come off as overzealous, but it's just because that this is one of our primary hobbies. This is one of our primary hangouts for role playing. We are not a place that you can come up and pick a few games, maybe because your other gaming groups are kind of on a hiatus, or you're just like looking for a couple of games every month. You can't make commitments. This is not the group for you if that's your outlook, which is fine. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. People are doing different things at different points in their life, but that does not set you up for success at Blades and Blasters. So just keep that in mind. If you're here to play, I think on an average, most of our members play around 4 to 5 games a month, right? And that's on the low side. Some of us play like around 8 or 9 games a month. So, you can see why different members here are like, hey, get in games. This is a campaign. We meet pretty often. So, if that's not right for you right now, then it's not going to work. It'll just leave a bad impression with everyone, saying, hey, this guy came in, this girl came in, and they talk the talk, but didn't really walk the walk. Which point, you're like, okay.
And someone who is the all-time Blades and Blasters games played champion just joined.
Oh, there he is.
The skeleton man himself, Ghost.
Say a few words, Ghost. Say hi to the good people out there.
Ghost may be having technical difficulties. I don't know.
I see him. There he is.
I might have been.
Showing off those guns.
Yeah, it's hot in the house today.
Hey, there he is.
It's good enough. I'm not going to wrestle with that thing more than I need to.
So tell us, Ghost, what is it like playing at Blades and Blasters consistently, day after day, evening after evening?
Consistently. I mean, this is the best group I've ever been a part of for anything. So, you know, we have a really high standard for role playing, but we have a good time doing it. I mean, not much more to say than that. I just feel like as long as people meet the commitments they set, then it shouldn't have any problems. But it's easier said than done, as we've seen.
Yes, it has, unfortunately. Yeah, I think that's the basics. Just commit and meet your commitment. That's it. It's if you can commit to 4 games a month, you know, none of us care if you just play 4 or you play 16. It doesn't really matter. It's what matters is if you're going to say you're going to do something, just do it. That's it, right?
Yeah, and we all know that shit happens, right? And, like Bo was saying, a lot of us do have kids, or you know, I think we all have jobs at the very least.
Yeah.
And sometimes life gets in the way, right? And that's okay. Just be considerate of other people, and make your situation known to them. So if you're not going to make it, try to give as much lead time as you can. If you can't give lead time and something comes up, then make sure, for God's sakes, please tell them, right? And don't just no-show. That's the worst thing possible. And if you're green and you come up and no-show, you will be removed immediately. That is absolutely truth. Unless you have some outrageous, like, you got in a car wreck. All right.
Someone died. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. But there's 99% of the time you should be able to at least say, hey, I can't make this for whatever reason.
If you can't get to a computer and you have a smartphone, you still don't have an excuse. There's a Discord app for your phone. So use the damn app. All it is, hey, I can't make it tonight. Sorry, I'll tell you more tomorrow. If it's something that pressing, I'll tell you more tomorrow or whatever. Then that's fine.
Yeah. Because
shit happens. But if you're just like, I'm just not going to show up tonight. I'm not going to say shit. I ain't going to fly. I mean that works on Roll20 because you're never going to see those people again 90% of the time. But, I mean, would you do that to somebody who's your buddy? I guess some people would. But it's really not that hard to just send a text message and just be like, hey, can't do it. Sorry, I'll explain more tomorrow. Or just like, hey, this happened, can't do it. If it's like last minute, or if it's, I mean, that's whatever you got to do, but to just not show it all and not say anything is awful.
Yeah, I mean, because we do have relationships where we all consider ourselves friends. I mean, Jesus, we've been playing for years together, some of us. And so just, treat the group online like you would a group in real life. But we've gone over this ad nauseum again. I think we know what Blades and Blasters is about, so we can get back to like kind of what's going on in January and what's new, and so there are some things going on.
To balance all that messaging out, this is one, I think we keep repeating this also ad nauseum. We're not asking, prospective people who want to join us to look at every video or look at every video in its entirety. YouTube has a pretty nifty feature where you can speed up videos by 1.5x, 2x, and just fly through them. Why we ask you to just take a look at our YouTube channel is just so that you get a real feel for what is it that we do. These are not just empty words saying, oh, we are all into role play and not like role play, but the videos out there are proof enough. You can see the quality of role play. More than that, you can see the quality of the GMs that are on Blades and Blasters.
Unedited games.
Unedited games. These are all unedited games. And what I mean by quality is you can see that the GM has put an effort to set up like lighting effects, line of vision, backgrounds that match, music that matches the theme of the game, right? Various macros have been set up to make it easy for the player to just come in and start rolling. There's a lot of work that a GM puts in to his or her games on Blades and Blasters, and that work is not free. These folks have, like we said, everybody has hectic lives. So when a GM puts all of that work and somebody comes in and pisses all over it by doing shit like and being tardy, coming in but not participating, not really being present, we don't need that. So that is why, go look at the videos and you can see why we are this passionate about the type of people who we are looking forward to joining our group. These are not just empty words. I think we keep saying this every every tech talk, but
Yeah.
hey,
Well, I want people to know what they're getting into when they actually, if they would come and want to play with us. It's not a simple pickup game, and like Ghost was talking about earlier, if we wanted that, we could be on Roll20, but the Roll20 in itself has inherent problems with mostly the quality, and that could be either what you consider quality of role play or quality of people or quality of responsibility, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And that when we first created this group, it was because I was going through and trying to recruit people for games, and I was not having very good, luck at it. And so I decided I'm going to actually find the people I like, pull them together, and then we'll start forming a group that way. And that's what we did. So,
yeah.
And here we all are. So,
yeah. And we've been what now? I think been here for 2 years now, Ted.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, probably about 2 years. And plus a little before. We started in 2015, but that was just really me and Bo and a couple other people starting, and then we just kind of recruited off Roll20, and we got a couple people, and they were okay, and we kind of kept going. And then I wanted to do a Shattered Kingdoms, a Song of Ice and Fire Discord server, and then that changed into Blades and Blasters, and so yeah. But overall, 2 years ish. Yeah. So
it all came out of the play by post kind of scene, and I think the reason why it carries over so well is because in play by post, even though they can be slow and it's just like drudgery because like a combat scene takes forever. But what you can say about a play by post game, if it doesn't fizzle out, is that the role play is wonderful because you get to sit and think about what you're going to say and that sort of thing. And so we said, hey, listen, why don't we get the people that love that sort of storytelling? We put them together in a group, and we can get done in one session what would take 2 months literally in a play by post game
or longer.
So January we got a bunch of green games set to go. Our other campaigns are kind of continuing to march on through the month. What do we have like marching on through January?
Marching on through January for sure will be, well, more or less planned as of right now. Masks,
which sounds like it's awesome. Like everybody has pretty high praises for that game. So
yeah, the Genesis for sure. Those two. CP is paused. Witcher's going to have a couple sessions. Tor will be played. Grasshopper Lies Heavy will be played. And that's not counting all the things we're doing for the greens. That's why. So there's some pausing and slowing down just so we have more time to do things like Only War and Other Dust, and There Is No Spoon, and there's a Fate game that's going to run, and more of Chronicles of Darkness from Matt.
I think it's gonna be a good month. You know, it's a month to catch our breath a little bit, kind of wrap up some stuff, get some new recruits, some fresh faces around the campfire, and then really hit it hard in February, I think.
Yeah. And I think, I mean, also, if you look back on 2018, we as a group also have evolved on other fronts as well. Like our games, um, not it's interesting. It's while I think we used to have deep characters which were kind of on the fly. Our sessions go longer. The players would kind of RP it out in game. But I would say in the last, say, 4 months, things have slowly changed where um, uh, the games have been more open world. The players are, writing a lot more with their GMs, not just like pages of background, but like literally like, okay, these are NPCs in your world, these are locations in your world, these are my goals as a player in your world. And most of the games have now started kind of going down that path, which is very interesting to see. And I think that trend is going to continue in 2019. um, that's the other thing about, I think, over the past year I've seen is there's been a lot of experimentation on the server. And it's not in the sense, how do I put this? It is the way a story is portrayed, or the way a GM takes a rule system and tweaks it just so for um, the run length that they're planning.
I can, yeah. It's like a
Yeah,
lot
good.
of cross pollination, I would say.
Mhm.
That'd be a really good term because I can see
Yeah.
every single GM's game. I can see hints of all the other GM's game in that, whether it's how they do their maps, how they figure out their macros, how do they make their tokens, how do they set up their soundboard, do they even have a soundboard? What's the pacing of the game? What's the scripting of the game? What's the character development like? All of that, I think, because we have such a tight group, we can say, oh, you know what? My game would benefit from this. We can take something from another game and I kind of import it in. Oh, that's a great idea. Or like, I don't think that'll work very well. So that's a huge benefit for having a group that you're with day in and day out, week in and week out, that you have RP'd with for months and years on end because you know the players.
Yeah.
And you can learn from each other.
And just to give you guys, like, we have 9 active GMs on the server.
9.
9, yeah. 9 active, which means there are 9 people with different ideas on how things get done. 9 ways you can see things kind of unroll in games, and 9 ways to learn how to do things and how not to do things, right? It's not like each of us are like perfect GMs. A lot of us make a lot of mistakes, but it's very quick. It's very easy to see because the players are so good. They're like, hey, I think, that would not really work. And most of these conversations also happen outside of game. The other thing about our group is everyone is mature, which means that in game you don't have to worry about stuff like, oh, is this player going to behave in a meta fashion, or if I let this player loose in my world, are they going to consistently on purpose break it? Things like that, which you have to worry in random groups, does not occur. If it does occur, the admins uh, are tough on it, and that thing is brought to a stop pretty quickly. So as a GM, you're just free to build as you please, play with who you want. As a player, you know from the get-go that, hey, the GMs have some trust in you, and you have some leeway to kind of try different things with your character. So we try to keep balance as one of our core things. Is trust the GM, trust the player. Let the player take things in certain places, and then trust the GM to let you take that in certain places. So it when it's in motion, it's beautiful to watch. So and I think that's what's been happening in 2018 a lot more. A lot less scripted games, a lot more open games where GMs have started with one idea, and then by the end of the arc, what has happened does not look exactly like what the GM had planned, but the end product is something that everybody sits back and just marvels at. So I think every year we've just grown stronger.
Like people that thought they were going to Zaith, but instead they wanted to sell a whole crew to slavery, so they did that instead.
Yes.
So.
8 sessions of fucking footfall. It's an entire expanse. And what, 6 players spent 8 sessions in the same fucking planet.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Let's get rid of all these shitheads.
These shitheads. They are not building.
We can profit off this though. Come on, guys. Obviously, this is the right idea.
It's like front loading all the work was the best part, because now I have the entire second season's already ready because no one did anything for the first one.
Literally, that was how Conan was.
Yeah,
it was very much like you kind of like are sitting there and you're like, okay, do I have anything to do for the session today? And like half the time it's like, no. React, yeah, whatever they do, react to it. I have all my assets in place. Yeah. Well, I know they're going after Piter today, so.
Yeah. My gun is ready. I'm ready to enforce your will, Lord Thorn.
Yeah.
You're busy cleaning your
by.
I didn't have enough chances to kill us all.
Well,
I figured in that last session I would just be like, okay, I'm just gonna stand by anyway while you guys playing everything.
Well, we had we fought Daemons at the very end.
Yeah.
Raven almost died of a heart attack. He was 2 points off of having a heart attack.
Oh god.
He could have died from seeing a demon, not even fighting one. So
yeah. Well, Achilles' brother is back.
So when's that picking up again in spring sometime?
Maybe, but I actually want to go ahead, since we do a TED Talk. I, on a whim, bought a book yesterday from a local hobby store that I go to a lot, that I was interested in. I've been playing a lot of this game on Steam, and I want to see what it's all about. That would be Battletech, if it will. So I bought the Battletech RPG, and I've been looking at. I mean, we all like big fucking robots, and I know Mecha was one of the more popular one shots, turning into the 2-shot. Yeah. They were actually going to finish in January, hopefully. But I was actually looking at potentially doing that as an episodic once I learn the system a bit better. So the next few weekends I have are going to be spent on that.
Nice.
Nice.
All right, Zypher. Your skills for macros will be needed.
Yes,
for that one.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Definitely. If I remember, I rolled up a character for the play-by-post game with Battletech, and the care gen's a little crunchy.
It's a lot. It's a pretty crunchy system, but I think we can make it work. I'll just make Zypher do all the work for me.
Is there a
nervous look on his face?
I haven't made a game for it just yet, because I'm just gonna do only war for right now. This won't come till spring if we're doing it. I'm gonna decide between doing either that or Rogue Trader. I don't want to sit on Rogue Trader too long, because I know everybody enjoyed it. So, and that's already ready. So Battletech might be something that I put together after only war, and maybe only gets run every now and then in conjunction with Rogue Trader on like poach days. So
is it called Battletech: A Time of War?
It is. Yeah, I think there might be one on there for a sheet.
There's a sheet for it.
Because it's my understanding it's one of the more popular, newer ones. I think it's a fairly new book, if I remember correctly.
That's a nice find at a local bookstore.
Why
Sometimes
it was like I bought that in Catan. So
Oh, really?
I was
there
playing
you go.
Catan with the family. the other-
Zypher, please describe your Catan role-playing game.
I've only played
Let's
Catan. I've
Let's see
only
if we
played
can do
Catan
this.
Junior.
Let's see if
so
we can do this because it's
Okay.
my son beat me at Catan Junior my last time around.
because
So.
I might pee my pants last time you
So-
did this.
So we're all sitting at the table, right? And the roll comes through. And now it's like me, I'm sitting there. I'm looking at my cards and I'm looking at my resources. And I'm thinking, man, these guys with the sheep, and the freaking wood, all they've been doing is buying wood all over the place. They've been laying bricks, right? Driving down the price of my wool. Man, that's basically, I'm not drunk enough for this yet, but you start like that. You start explaining how, before you actually make your play, you start sitting.
Zypher, this is it.
Yeah.
This is what you need to do. A one shot of Catan. Catan, the role-playing game. Let's do that.
Yes.
Yes.
Have
That's
it ready to go. Just I
exactly.
guarantee you, there's a conversion for Roll20.
No, you don't have. You just take the images like you did. What was that? The Star Wars game.
Imperial Assault.
Imperial Assault. But before instead of just like throwing the dice and saying, okay, I'm going to lay, I'm going to buy this resource or do that, you just start role playing it out. You start haggling with each other. You call each other names, and you moan and fret and how the city council is driving the prices of brick up because they can lay down roads and wood no longer works for the people, and why all the farmers are just buying sheep and selling all the wool while my fucking wood doesn't go anywhere, right? Man, like I've been spending years on setting up those trees in my backyard, and nobody fucking buys my wood anymore. And there's fucking roads being dug up left, right, center. Even to my fucking forest, there's a fucking road right now, and nobody fucking buys my wood anymore, man.
Oh God!
I can say after playing this yesterday, this is exactly how it works. Everybody fucks each other over. It's like, yeah, you can make trades with other people, but it depends on who you're playing with. You play people who are vindictive, you can never play Catan because they only. No, you wouldn't give me the brick last time I needed it. Well, fuck no, I would because I needed the brick. Like, but I think that'd be interesting. I think if that'd be interesting, or if you just took set up something in the same vein of Catan, where it's each of your players is a different person within the city of import, like the burger class, noble class, knight class, peasant representative. And they just haggle and argue over shit with the city, all while there's something like other crisis going on. Be fucking pretty good too. It's like, well, sir, the fucking orcs are coming across the way. We need to decide what we're gonna. Well, we need more wood for the roads. Like, but we're gonna be attacked soon. What do you mean?
That's funny.
Need the roads for the trade. What trade? We're all going to die.
Yeah, even Candyland can be role played. Think about it.
Oh shit!
As you walk to the gumdrop forest.
Motherfucking molasses marsh.
Yeah.
My horse is drowning. No.
I was a fucking legend in Molasses Marsh.
The horse
A
that died
fucking
in
legend.
the horse that died in the Never-Ending Story.
Oh shit!
Atreyu.
Atreyu, no.
I hate that
Drowning.
movie so bad. I hate it.
Atreyu.
So these are the questions.
That kid, I just wanted to beat him up so bad.
And then, like, I
Kid
wondered,
reading
like,
the
I was a
book?
kid, like, I was confused that the princess had cancer because she looks like she's getting chemotherapy. The little princess girl. I was like, is she dying? What is this, mommy? Is she sick? Solitary
That
tear.
game was.
Yeah.
But yeah, a mecha game will be very popular, I think, because just like if you look at it on the internet and on our videos, people are asking for it, and then if you look at on Artilsorian Games, they're asking them for their Mechton Zeta games, right?
Oh shit! Artelsorin does Mechton Zeta.
Yeah.
Give the people what they want, Ghost.
I didn't realize they did Mechton Zeta.
Yeah,
Oh
it's
my
it's
God.
an old, it's pretty old, I think, but yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, I would say so. I think The Witcher looks a lot more polished than Zeta does.
Yeah.
Has anyone ever looked at Zeta besides me?
Mm.
Anyone ever had any experience with Zeta? Okay, so for TED Talk, this will be the good controversy moment for TED Talk. So Mechton Zeta, I've looked at it because I was looking for good mecha RPGs as well. Like BattleTech is one that's very. I mean, BattleTech I would arguably say is one of the best mecha ones. If I'm just looking like from the outside looking in without nice cipher without like,
I'm laying off that. That's bad news.
without having much experience in many mecha games. I played obviously the one I ran that we're gonna finish, but then I've played in one Mechton Zeta game, and it was probably the weirdest and potentially worst one I've ever played in. Not at any fault of the system. It is very much rooted in like anime concepts because it all looks very Gundam-y. If anyone's familiar with Gundam, it's a popular anime 80s, 90s, today even. It's very rooted in like the anime mecha type shit, Robotech, all that stuff. And which is great. If like people like, you know, even if that's not your bag, you can find ways to make it interesting. Like depending on who your GM is and what kind of robots you're gonna make. 'Cause it's very involved. Like it has to be a session 0 game. Normally I don't like that, but it has to be. There's so much involvement with character plus mech. So I was in a session 0 for Mechton Zeta, and it was an example of everything that could be wrong with this.
Yeah, I think you told me about this. Like somebody wanted to be a giant blow-up doll or something like that.
So yes, so if anyone's familiar with Gundam, the probably the coolest mech concept in the series, in my opinion, is the original Zaku 2s. And if anyone's curious about it, look them up. They're these. It's got this really imperial feel to them. They have these cool helmet type get ups and like these. It's a cool fucking robot. Like it's a very cool. It's a cool robot. And there's a variation of it called the Gyaradogas. And so I made something like that was similar. I basically just I'm gonna make a Gyaradoga. Here's my setup. So I took it semi-seriously. I had a pilot who was like an older, experienced veteran, not quickest reflexes wise, but has just years of experience of doing this shit. And this makes motherfuckers look bad because of it. It's like, tricksy. And then when I looked at my compatriots for this one, I got something a little different. So it's very much a game with supplements where you can just do goofy shit. One of the guys was an MLP fan. And I mean, whatever you're into, if you like My Little Pony, whatever, man. Like I'm
MLP. I don't know
My
what
Little
the fuck
Pony.
MLP means.
My Little Pony.
MLP.
My Little Pony.
He was a brony.
God.
He was flu, basically.
He was a brony. And he basically made a bipedal horse robot thing. And so I was like, if everybody else is better, I can stomach this. I'll just zone out and pretend that this robot it doesn't exist. This is like some kind of weird NPC that is in this world. I'll suspend my suspension of disbelief and just pretend it doesn't exist altogether. Like this isn't real. But then the other ones were worse. So it was a giant like sex doll type robot. And at that point I just couldn't take it anymore. I was like,
giant phallus.
I just don't think this is for me, guys. And then that was it. I just left because I couldn't do it. So that's the sole experience I had Mechton Zeta now. Like I think more tightly controlled by a GM, setting expectations up front, which is very important. Perfectly fine. Because I don't know if the GM intended that or not. He didn't object when it came up. But
you're not going to find that kind of degeneracy here in Blades and Blasters. You're going to find
not anymore.
Not anymore.
Not that kind. Not that kind of degeneracy. That's what I said.
We have two maids videos up on our channel. That degeneracy's been here. It's just not anymore.
Yeah.
So, but that was bad. Like that that sort of I like Mechton Zeta as a system, like reading about it, but that put me off of Mechton Zeta entirely. I was just like, I don't think I'm ever going to touch this.
Did it use the same system as The Witcher? That
I have
10
books. I'd have to
plus.
look at it. I don't think it did. I think it was something. It might have been percentile. I'd have to look at it again. It's been a long time. I have the books of it still. And like I said, it's very. I mean, it's very much like anime. Hey, you can do something different with it. But I didn't expect it to go quite as far as it did.
I guess
Session 0, which it would have been. I just couldn't do it.
Yeah, some of those games is just we don't have the cultural context. I think that's the best way to put it.
Was you're the only one of I think the 4 of us that played Maids, right?
Oh, you played
That
Maids?
is true.
Mm-hmm.
That was when I was younger and I was into experimentation.
No, he needed to like get some games under his belt.
Yeah.
I need this one to make my quota. Guess I'll have to bite the bullet.
Oh boy, yeah.
The thing is, Doc showed up in both of them, so he actually enjoyed the first one.
No, Doc was not there for the first one.
Oh yeah. He couldn't make it or something.
Oh, that's right. That's why.
Yeah, it was Ian, myself, and
Grant.
Yeah.
Yes.
Someone played in both though, didn't they?
I think Grant played in both.
Oh, he did. Oh,
yes, I think he did.
Well,
I think the next one was North, Doc,
Aki,
and Grant. I think
so. And no, Demi was in that too.
Oh, Demi, yeah. I think Grant left by then. Yeah, I think so. Nobody played in both. It was one of those things that if you did it once,
you weren't gonna do it again.
It's like D-list.
Yeah, it's not like D-list.
True. I don't think that's true. There's like Sim would be in. He would play D-list every day. I think.
Yeah,
I would totally come back to D-list.
Top
my boys.
It's happening in January.
My wife actually made a reference to Tom Peeper tonight during our dinner party.
Are you serious?
She goes,
what?
She's all sloshing her wine out. Bo thinks he lives in the 1950s. He thinks the ladies should stay home and raise their kids. With a bunch of professional women at the table. Yeah. For most people, not all people, but most people, probably the best thing.
You took her aside, and you're like, "This, you're lucky I'm married to you."
God damn it.
Oh,
You're lucky we have the kids.
D-list, man.
Top Peeper.
D-list is one of those games I don't advertise. I just put it up, and I'm actually hoping nobody watches them.
I feel like that's because you have some sort of guilt because of Sugar.
Well, yes. And
I think it's healthy to have guilt after appearing in one of those games.
Yeah.
Oh, if you have no shame about it, then there's some concern.
It's that.
Ian played himself, I'm pretty sure.
It's that purging of your negative image and everything.
Yes.
That we just got to get out there.
Like my character definitely learned how to purge a lot of stuff in that.
The bodily function character.
The bodily function character.
Every guy's got a little sugar in them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And a lot of guys have been inside a little sugar.
Yeah.
That is definitely true.
As it turns out.
Yeah, and one woman somehow was the father of one of her children.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Life works in strange ways.
Very strange.
Life will find a way.
There you go.
That's also coming back in January. Not to subvert Ted, who said he wouldn't advertise it, but yeah, January again.
I'm in.
No shit. Okay, so
is it going to be Tom Peeper again? Is he going to be back?
It could be if he wants to be top Peeper.
I mean, I think Top Peeper is top 3 D-list hero characters.
Communist menace never sleeps.
They said. You might. The thing is, you might be. Oh no, I guess it would be you and Sim. So that'd be you, Sim, because all the women want to be in it. So all of our ladies want to be in D-list. I'm like, are you fucking sure? Have you seen The previous
well,
product.
Tom would be
Matt,
great
of
with the
course.
ladies, dude. I need to
No,
RP the slip for the first time as top peeper.
I don't have any issue with that. I'm saying, like, are they going to be okay with it? Because
No. She says she has thick skin, so
I hope so.
I think so. Yeah.
Because if the last two are any indication about how it's going to go,
just playing the character.
Well, I was pretty sure she was gonna in Cyberpunk get out the gag ball there for a minute. She was
Oh
kinda
man,
scaring me a
I
little
haven't listened
bit.
to this.
Yeah, if you guys have not listened to that session, the first hour is sublime. The ass being handed to
Oh man,
is so well done. Yes.
Yeah.
Mm.
But no, I think Matt and Slip definitely. Well, Matt obviously, but
So all the non-B&B people listening to the call, you can tell how much camaraderie we all have. We all can joke with each other, be irreverent if we need to be, but also we respect each other as GMs and players. So it's
Fuck
good.
you, Bo.
Awesome growth. Yeah, you said that before. You said that before and then rage quit a game,
Yes.
which we don't do on the
We don't
reg.
do often, but if your
I
characters,
think Chris and Zypher have been the only two rage quits.
but they were not the same rage quit. You do not equate my rage quit with Chris's rage quit.
I don't know.
Like
he
you took
quit.
my-
He quit when session was over. Chris quit when session was ongoing.
Yes.
Then he came back.
Chris
came back
Chris
and
quit
died.
because he actually.
He couldn't handle it.
But he did. Did he die and then he quit?
No. He quit. He came back, and then he died.
Yeah,
Hmm.
he quit. He quit when he ran away. I think either he quit when he ran away. No, I think he quit when he quit because he quit when he died because you made me do that.
He quit when
No,
he
that
died.
was a
left.
different time. That was on Discord. He was rolling for something. I don't even think it was with his first characters, with the second. And something happened, and he was like, "You made me roll for that." That was like, I think that's two different things.
I think you made me roll for that. Was the spider session?
Yeah,
I'm
the
pretty
spider
sure
session.
he rage
Yeah.
quit.
No, because
I didn't make him do
I
it.
think he
But
said
that's-
you made me come back.
I gave him the choice to come back. He chose to come back.
Yeah.
Yep.
I
Yep.
get that.
Yep.
Yeah. But that's an
You
infamous
make
session.
it bad. You
It's
sneak.
funny. There's like
Okay. So this is what happened. So the spider session happened. We were all fighting. He ran away, right? Which is fine because the odds were overwhelming. Not he. I mean, his character ran away, and then but the fight was going on because there was this elf that stood like a mountain against all these spiders. Yes.
Dun, dun, dun,
And
dun, dun, dun,
yeah, exactly. That was what was happening. And then since he ran away, he felt like he needed to come back. So Bo said, "Yeah, you can come back. You're not too far away. It's nothing against RP. So come back." He came back, and he still rolled shit for his character, and his character eventually died. At which point
he would have never had this problem if you would just
made me
play
do
magic
that.
user.
yeah, that's when you made me do this came about. Now, after the elf
Right,
who stood
correct.
like a mountain, slayed all those spiders, at his feet lay Aravul, who was barely recovering, hanging on to life. At that point, our kind GM said, "Hey, would somebody like to make a health check on this here individual who is definitely going to die?" At which point the health check was rolled, and I was rolled, and the individual who was Chris's character died.
So
That is when
you're almost 100% correct. You missed one part. The eye was for the dwarf, which we all laughed at.
yes,
Oh yeah, he did die.
Yeah, the eye was for the dwarf.
which
I
was
was
I think
like,
my
oh.
character.
That motherfucker's dead. And
Yeah.
then I just rolled below the TN for the other, and he was there was nothing I could do, so I left him. And it's like Erevu was the one I could save. But no, the dwarf was the eye, which was
Dwarf
the best
was
part.
that, which was my
Because
character.
I was like, let's kind of kicked his beard a bit. Oh yeah, whenever this other guy checked his pulse, oh he's gone. I can't save him. See,
Yeah,
he made
yeah,
me
I
roll
think-
that.
I think with Chris's character, it's like, yeah, you're like out in the wilderness. You could not get. There's no way you could get anywhere.
No, the only person who could have been saved was the one that was because
Yes.
I you know.
But
so.
I think
So there you go, Chris. If you're just watching this,
I think my love for the system happened the very moment. A couple of sessions down, Chris's second character, who was a Gondorian or some weird wanker.
Yeah.
Did
We
you say
had
weird biker?
no weird wanker.
Oh, this biker from Gondor.
Biker from Gondor.
The Minas Tirith.
The Minas Tirith riders. So we proceed to win the fight, and which point, for some reason, the character's older brother had shown Chris how to chop orc fingers, right?
You said your love for this system.
I'm getting to the love.
Corruption.
Yeah, exactly. So he says, I'm going to chop all their fingers. And all of us, though we can't see each other because we don't do video, I'm pretty sure all of us went, the fuck? Right? So he proceeds to chop the fingers, and we're like, okay, fine, whatever, dude. And at which point, again, our kind GM, who is Bo, said, please roll a corruption check. He proceeds not only to fail it, he proceeds to get an eye. He proceeds to get an eye on the corruption check, making him get permanent shadow for that act. Which is when I realized, like, this system is perfect. There is no other better way to let a player know that he done goofed, and you get an eye for your travesty. It was at which point I'm like, this, for me, that was when I actually fell in love with the game. It's
I'll because take it over Adventures of Middle Earth any day.
Yeah, because you can as GM punish a player's stupid decisions, right? But then it becomes personal, like you as a GM are punishing them when they deserve to be punished because they're doing something that's completely against, say, whatever the lore is or whatever it is. But when the system does it for you, you rolled it, dude. I can't help it. The eye is on you.
I can't help it, son.
I can't do anything.
The ring has a will of its own.
Yes.
It's just such a weird thing to want to do.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's what, we play a lot of systems in Blades and Blasters, and for that reason, we come across some ones that just really fit the subject matter well. The ones that are
I think Tor does for sure.
Yeah, it's very thematic. I love the way it rolls. I mean, you can do anything with it in that universe and just make it feel like you are fighting a battle against forces that you're not going to win, but I'm going to fight till the end and stand against the shadow, and maybe it's going to turn out all right. I love it. I love it. It's a great game.
And now, for what people who are watching, the cool thing about this is that when this was happening, which is pretty clear against the text in that in that piece of work, the GM, now the players, stopped this person from doing whatever they did. And I think that's what I mean by mature, kind of like hooking back those words is, if you as a player take decisions that are downright stupid, none of us are going to like stop you in game. But out of game, we'll tell you like, hey man, I don't think you quite understand where you're going.
Oh God.
He's still my beating heart.
Oh boy.
Yeah, well.
We were just talking about oi.
Talking about Vidar.
And for those who do watch this, our newest addition is the favorite dwarf, probably from Tor, Vidar.
Oi!
Yes, yeah. And if you look closely, right behind where Vidar is sitting, there are two other dwarfs that are part of his retinue. Nobody else sees them. They are the most powerful magic users in all of Middle Earth.
The retinue is coming. They're right
behind him. Yeah. Wow. They're the ones that carry his chest of coins all over the place. They get it into all the clubs.
Yeah.
All the clubs. All the clubs.
The bank of Vidar. They're just like,
oh my God! Wow, this is a full group here tonight.
Yes.
Dang, even Bo's on here.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Bo
Yeah.
has
Is
some
my, is
lame
my
excuse.
Santa hat showing as well?
Yes, it
Yeah.
is.
Your Santa
I,
hat is
I
in.
changed it up just for the occasion.
Mhm.
Yeah, this
Bo
is
has some lame
Christmas
excuse
edition.
that his camera has been packed away somewhere. Yeah, like, yeah, sure, Bo.
That's an excuse.
It's like a
You know,
movie size camera, you know.
Yeah.
He's it's not like this big, right?
spilled some
Man.
virgin oil on it. Doesn't work anymore.
Yeah, virgin oil. Oh my God. Very topical today. Very topical.
Ghost is here. Hey, Ghost. Yeah. Well,
Show them guns,
know.
man.
The guns. I don't have any guns. I have
It's Christmas Eve.
So, sure. Shh. Ah, we missed it.
oh, yeah.
Which way is the gym?
Mm. He's Arthur in real life and Arthur in
Arthur was a skinny fuck in Tor. What do you
He's
mean?
back though.
He's back.
yeah.
He's back. The elf is back. Everybody's favorite elf on the shelf is back.
I missed arguing every session for half of it. So
No.
I'm good.
now we get to argue. We have to make up for lost time.
Yeah. What the hell are you doing? I can just see it now, right? It's
We have-
TV.
we
What
have
the
an
fuck,
entire
man?
season of
You
arguing.
have to RPM at least somewhat.
you know, for all the shit
bickering.
we gave Vidar should just walk up to Arthur.
Punch him in the
Slap
face.
him.
Try to punch him in
Doc
the
doesn't
face.
even know. Doc wasn't in the last one. He doesn't
Oh,
know what
that's right.
happened. He just gave it
Oh.
away.
Oh yes, that
I'm
is true.
I'm gonna watch
Spoiler.
it. I'll figure out what's going on here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll
Arthur
figure
has
it out.
returned.
It is, yes. Things have turned. Things have changed. What else?
Got some good games going on, friends. Yeah.
So
Hey.
catch me up. What was the topic here?
We're just randomly kind of talking about B&B and what games are coming up. Why don't you, since I think, well, I know Ghost did play, why don't you talk a little bit about Masks?
Yeah, that'd be great.
How that game is going, how it's set up, and
Okay.
about it in general.
Well, we're doing Masks of Nyarlathotep, and it's of course, it's the Call of Cthulhu game. It's one of their basically pre-made games. That's been running forever. Everyone is probably pretty familiar with it.
Yeah, it's been in edition since like 4th or 3rd edition.
Yeah. It's been around for a long time. It's gotten a lot of rave reviews. It's one of those games that are considered basically, must play if you're into long campaigns, and if you're serious about campaigns, and if you have the group for it, if you have the people for it, then absolutely, it's one of those things that you just kind of you should do yourself the service of doing. So we've been running it now. We're on session session 8. And we're barely scratching the surface. We're in New York now. We finished the Peru prologue, which is kind of new for this new edition of Masks. Peru wasn't there before, but they wanted a stronger connection to Elias, other than just, hey, he's your friend. This is someone this is someone you should idea who's someone who you should listen to. They wanted there to be a kind of relationship there. So Peru is new, but so far the game, the way we're doing it here on Blades and Blasters is we're having co-GMs where Darren and I are both GMing this, and it's working out really well. First off, if one person can't make it, the other person can GM, which has happened now a couple of times, which has been beneficial. But also, there's so much content. Oh my God, there is so much content that it almost makes it a necessity to have 2 GMs. So it's been really beneficial to have both of us. We split up the NPCs, so all the NPCs have kind of unique voices and characters and dynamics to them, rather than one GM doing everything all in their own voice.
That is a really tough thing when you're a GM and you have to have you have an NPC talk to an NPC. It's one of the things I hate about GMing the most, when you are talking to yourself.
Mhm.
I like it. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's been really, really, really great. We've gone through prior to the games, prior to each location, like Peru and New York and different locations, and we've ahead of time we've gone through and looked at all the NPCs and split them up. So we already know ahead of time who's playing what NPC and how we're going to play it, and what basically where we stand in the game as far as the NPCs go, and it's worked out wonderfully for us. I really dig the way we're doing that.
And this is kind of goes back to Bo's point earlier. He was talking about kind of how the GMs, particularly, or Zypher, I think, or maybe I can't remember. Anyway, somebody said that basically we are learning from each other. We're doing different things based on what other people are doing, and this is just another way of doing something new.
Oh yeah,
and I think that's one of the things that really our GMs really.
You can give me credit for that cross-pollination comment.
Right.
That was my comment.
That was Bo's comment.
Yes, cross-pollination.
100% Bo's comment.
Let the record know.
Cross-pollination.
Cross-pollination and cross-fertilization.
Yeah, that was definitely Bo's comment.
Mark it in the book. Put it down.
Cross-fornication.
Now it's forever. Now it's forever. It's on the
If any say he did not say it, mark them in the great book of grudges.
Mark it in the red room.
That's more in the book, laddie.
Speaking of the red room, we're going to have a new member here coming up soon, right?
Oh yes.
Slip.
Yeah.
Just biding the time, really.
Yeah, man. Do it Christmas Eve.
She won't watch this. It's no surprise. It'll still be a surprise to her.
I don't think it's a surprise.
It's no surprise. I think we've had some really, really great female RPers coming our way lately within the past several months. It's been awesome.
3. We've had 2 in the last couple months, and then Matt back in what exactly? April? Yeah.
Back in whatever date that was.
Yeah. It was,
spring.
It's pretty incredible. Like
it's awesome to have like the extra dimension to your games. Mm-hmm. And like I never really considered it until you actually had a lady there, and it adds something to your game. It really does.
Absolutely does.
Well, you know what? I mean, Darren and I were talking about that even before the start of Masks, when Matt was still the only female, only female on the server, and we were saying, "Oh my God, this would be great if she joined Masks," because first off, Call of Cthulhu is perfect for a female character in this kind of situation, in that it just makes sense. And we were like, "Oh, that'd be great if she joined," and she got the whole game.
Yeah, it just and that makes you kind of think back, like if like you've played a female character like me, and it's like, oh my God, I'm so glad I don't have to do that anymore.
Yeah,
it does really. I mean, like, of course, occasionally you can do female NPCs, but I feel like if it's in RPGs in general and TTRPGs in general, a lot is misinterpreted or not directly translated when it's a male doing a female. There are very few men that can convincingly pull off a female.
No, it's like
for obvious reasons.
Yeah. If the guy's doing it, like they'll try to be all jokey and like automatically like sexualize everything, and like you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Not just talking about PC, but yeah, like it gets to that jokey.
Yeah,
which is like. Most of our games aren't that way.
Or tomboy women, which is like, again, that's the thing. Like,
Sylvie. I mean,
it's tough. It's tough to do because it's, as a man, you don't know the female mindset.
What's kind of what's kind of hilarious is that when Maddie first joined, one of the first games she got in was that Call of Cthulhu game, Amidst the Ancient Trees, where she played a male.
Not any. This is like a husky ass dude too, right?
Yeah. He was like this big brute of a male. And she was just like, I don't know how to do this. So I mean, it goes both ways. She had a difficult time doing that as well.
Yeah. I think she doesn't like to play the guys.
Yeah.
No, she doesn't like to play the guys.
That. Yeah, it's really opened up a new dimension for all our games, honestly.
Yeah, having 3 really good female
Mhm.
role players, that's outstanding. I mean, that really helps in the diversity and the dynamics and just the flavor and the tone of the games. I mean, it's been wonderful.
Mhm.
And it's a great place for the ladies to come RP because there's just a bunch of old dudes that have no interest in hitting on them. Well, most of us.
Yes, exactly. And I was getting to that, which I think is, I mean, I wish Matt was here to
Well,
tell.
she said this exact same thing
Yes.
last time she was
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
here,
Yeah,
but
correct.
yeah.
Which is, I think, which is pretty powerful for us as a group, that people feel safe, that they can be themselves, they can RP a character they see fit, and as a server, there is like, they don't have to worry like, oh, how are people going to perceive this. None of that bullshit exists
No,
on
you just
D&D.
There's a lot of like interesting kind of like weird and kind of risque role play that happens. I mean, I'm not talking like ERP style, but just like very odd kind of situations that people can be in, and everybody can handle it because we're all adults and we know what it is, right?
Yeah, like we have like the Grasshopper Lies Heavy game, which is basically a group of people living under an oppressive Nazi regime in an alternative timeline where basically the Nazis won World War II. And so that can get heavy at times. And you have to have characters that are okay with playing under certain situations for your character, but then kind of separating that from real life. And I even told you, Ted, I was like, well, before you post this, you should add some sort of disclaimer to the video.
I think
we're not RPing the Nazis. We're actually on the good side. We're trying to kill them. So it's I think that we do have, and that's what's the fun thing about, like, okay, you can play, I don't know, pick your favorite video game, RPG. I don't even know, but
Witcher.
it's not Witcher something. It's not going to compare with the moral and storytelling artistry that you can come up with in a tabletop game amongst friends. It's not. You can put people in a moral situation that is going to be absolutely fascinating for them to work out, and to watch the gears spin in their head and watch them work out this situation in a narrative fashion. Wow, it doesn't get any better than that, in my opinion. Like when I put, like in the Grasshopper game, Zypher and Matt and Sim, they had to decide what, like, there's these like Gestapo going down to a bar basically, and the bar owner is like this gay couple, and they're basically going to drag him off to jail or kill him or whatever. They could, stick up for those people and risk getting arrested themselves or continue on their mission. That sort of situation is something that in a video game, it's going to be like, yes, no, right?
Do you take the renegade path or the paragon?
Tabletop game, though, that becomes a half-hour thing. It's awesome to watch.
Yeah.
So.
Correct, but then also like the fact that when you're going to make a bigger decision down the road, you use that event to drive the role play in the next scene where you're making some big decisions, right?
Everybody in the game felt so awful about that.
Yes, which meant that the next decision was like, no, we're not going to take any more of this shit, and we're going to do what is necessary. Most times when you're playing a video game, you're kind of having that conversation. I mean, I don't know. At least I have the conversation in my head, right? I'm role playing whatever I'm doing in my head. Now you have a bunch of other folks online or at a table who you can kind of improv with. Like, I think that is for me the fun part, the whole improv aspect. Whether it is coming up with poems, writing maniacal words about the maniacal ship's helmsman who does maniacal things in space, or
Zypher, I want to see your face as you do a Helios.
Yes. Give us a speech. Give us a speech right now.
Oh God.
I want to see it. I want to see how bad you strain.
Let's see. Okay, fine. Just
Watch
give-
the neck.
Yeah, I've actually never seen myself do it.
Oh,
So
Look away! Look away, son!
Look away. Yes, indeed. Let me just pull up one of Helios's better poems.
that Rogue Trader session probably needs a disclaimer at the end of it.
Yeah, maybe.
That was some very particular penetration.
The last one, yes. The last one.
The look on his face, he's so disgusted.
It was pretty bad. What's worse was the person they picked to do it to, because like any one of the other guys that would have picked would have been like the desired reaction entirely, but then they picked the one guy who was into it, and it's just like,
Yes, thank you for putting something out my butt
Like-
and out my mouth. I appreciate it.
The skin of the righteous shall not be rent. The anus of the righteous shall remain puckered. The agony you feel is judgment manifest. The screams you release up in spade. The fury of Thorn's Rose is upon you. From the inky blackness comes a ship. Its arrival heralded by the sound of a whip. The crew is demon manifest, here to put you to the test. The faithful shall have nothing to fear when Lord Thorn comes from the rear.
Oh God! Oh.
You know what? I'm gonna start watching that game just for that voice, just so I can hear that.
If you ever RP a game with Piper,
right.
if you RP with him the following day, he sounds a little froggy.
Yeah, the next day after the session is done, I'm just like, I just make myself some hot water, lemon and honey, and just, you know.
He did it
suck
in
along.
chaos for about 15 minutes as well.
Yeah, that's in chaos. I need to modulate that voice a bit, but yeah, in chaos I had a little fun at the beginning. Played 3 different voices inside of a revenant, which is basically reclaimed body parts built around a metal husk. So
Also, you did a somewhat similar style, kind of that deep style, but more robotic. And I loved it in the first Eclipse Phase game that you were in.
yes.
Yeah. Oh, my God. When you busted that voice out, I was like, damn, this guy's good.
yes. It's I like I mean I feel I have a handle on my words now, so I can spend some time thinking about the voice next. So that's the fun I've been having. I think Helios was the first one I kind of pushed the voice past this that you hear right now to
The asshole of the virtuous shall remain puckered.
Is that what we call your bedroom voice?
Grind.
Say Gron. Say Gron.
We started this video about Grand, and we've circled back.
Woo! Yes.
Mm.
Oh boy. Oh.
Grand is the new rave that has been hitting.
Grand
I'll
needs
say
to
never
come.
but-
Grand
Oh
needs
my
to
God.
come up and tour at some point.
Yes, it has
need-
to.
We must go. We must go to Gondor for
Just
Grand.
for Grand. So
Just
after the
you,
video is done, Doc, hang back. We'll explain. I mean, Bo will explain what Grand is.
I'm not explaining shit. It's not rated for this channel, son.
Oh, man.
not
That's Mo's
live.
bedroom only.
Not
Great.
Oh,
live.
well, there you go. He's just
I'm not drunk.
Cheers, everyone.
Yeah.
Oh
Well,
boy.
I
Man.
posted a video of my wife earlier on the admin channel saying, "I'm not drunk."
So good. She was definitely drunk.
Yeah, she's drunk.
You can tell her that all your friends agree.
Oh, I got there. She's feeding the baby. She's like, I can't sleep. I was like, what's going on? I said, are you getting spins? You lay down? She's like, a little bit.
I mean,
That's
she's
like you're-
drunk.
No, I said, that's amateur hour. I'm a pro. I don't get that.
I've never
You
got the
stay up
spins.
late into the night, don't you, Bo?
I do, and I moderate myself as well.
Mm-hmm.
I do not overdo it.
Yes, you do not. But you do complain a lot on the server about how you need to get your sleep.
Fuck you.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm tired. I'm tired, son.
If you were a big yellow triangle, you would be tired.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I have to deliver all the toys tomorrow. I'm Santa.
Will you sing the Tom Bombadil song as you deliver all the toys?
Oh, Mary Doe, dildo. Here's for you a vibrator dildo.
And the river's daughter.
Here's to me a sweet butter cake down the rushing waters. Come floating down the river, a dildo for your daughter.
This thing's gonna have 5 views
every day from the same 5 people.
Yeah. There's 5 of us, right? So
yeah.
Hey, move it to like R31. Do you hear the word dildo?
Yeah.
God.
Perfect.
We should what we should do for these going forward is one of us should keep a list of when all the topic switches happen, and then that way if something catches somebody's eye, you can link whatever time that is in the system, and then okay, they're talking about this I don't care about that, let's hear about this, and then would improve.
Hey, that's actually a pretty cool thing.
Yeah,
That's a good idea.
I'll have a timekeeper next time.
I vote Ghost does that.
When I'm here, yeah. This is the first one of these I've been to in like 5 months.
First one I think I've ever been to.
This is my first one ever.
Yeah.
This is your
Try to have one once a month is nice, but
most often it's me and Ted expounding the philosophy of role play.
Yeah.
Me getting a little salty, Ted's being like, "No, young
let's
one."
spend an hour and a half deciding what to do.
There's no way you're saltier than Tet.
No, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
Tet is the pillar of salt in the Bible. He's
no. Ted
No,
actually,
dude.
No.
Ted
is the voice of reason now.
Oh my God!
Before Zypher became admin/GM, I would have agreed with you.
Yeah.
Wow.
But since then, there is no match.
Zypher's so salty he even refuses to take the moist.
Yeah.
I want to be blue just because I'm a dick.
Yes. That's how big of a salty dick I am.
You're a big blue dick.
Yes, I am a big blue dick.
No, there's no question.
Yeah.
When it's hot, it's high. When things are keel, even keel, everybody's doing what they should be doing. Cypher's just another one of the boys. When things are going badly and someone fucks up, got it.
It's like a mountain range. It's
hell
have
no fury.
Hey,
like a Zypher scorned.
Zypher, tell me what you think of recruits.
I know we're trying to recruit, and
this is why. Okay, let's go back to like if we had little the links like Ghost was suggesting, I'd be like, okay, what are you guys running for the recruits? And I told or asked Bo. He said what, and I said what I was gonna. I was like, Zypher, what are you gonna run? He's like, yeah, nothing.
What a dick!
Yeah.
I see where Zypher's coming from.
Absolutely. It can be a big waste of time.
Yeah.
No, I really hope that the January recruiting drive yields fruit and that we get some. Good
It
people.
is. It could be awful.
But-
If we run, because I'm guessing for most of our one shots, like RP heavy stuff, right? Because we don't want people to have to learn some system for a one shot.
Oh no.
So if they're awful, it's going to be painful to sit through.
Only Wars is the crunchiest one we're gonna have, and that's
Yeah.
even that's gonna have macros for all the combat. Like I don't.
It should
I'll
just be if they
see.
suck. Like everybody just dies swift.
Oh no, that's very much a game that can have. Everybody only has one fate point in that game. Which, if you know anything about 40K systems, that's horrible. That's bad. Like you can watch any Rogue Trader session. All the players have between 3 to 4. I think maybe one person has 2, but they're heavy. I think I don't remember who has 2, but
Darius.
maybe. But Darius is the most combat heavy character, so he's the most likely to not need them when the situation's super dangerous. So like, having one fate point and not being even close to on par with the Rogue Trader characters is really fucking bad for them. So yeah, that's absolutely the only war people could drop a hat like that. I just give them a comrade to play as for the rest of the game. They can play as just a regular Roman Imperial Guardsman, but it's like you can die like nothing. So
I think it's good, like for green, to see how they handle that, right? So, you died. Okay, cool. Hey, listen. Hey, boss. What's best for the story? Let me do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so what I would really like to do is make a quote-unquote dungeon crawl, but have it on a flotsam type ship, spaceship, and essentially take TD's Aliens game and make it more legit, I guess. Add to it, give it a little more production, give it a little more story, make it just a little more polished, if you will, and basically turn it into a TPK, and see how they react to that. See how new recruits react to, oh shit, you're not going to win, you're going to die. And seeing how they fall in line with that. I mean, if someone throws a fit and they make a big fuss of it and make a big deal of it, and they make it obvious that they have a kind of disdain for that kind of gameplay.
Maturity.
Well, then, yeah, maturity issue, exactly. Then that's obviously not someone we want playing in our games.
And the funny thing is, we never had a TPK in any game every time. I don't think.
You know why
we don't have a
TPK?
Yeah, we have
TPK.
Yeah,
because
Alien game.
Aliens.
Yeah, the yellow.
Okay. Yeah.
Aliens and the one-shot game where X was a preacher. You all technically died.
Oh, guess we did. Yeah.
Yes.
The trees.
Yeah, but that game was a game. Yeah, it's different though.
Yeah, that game was different. That game was.
It wasn't like we were in combat and died.
It was more.
I mean, that would be like Shez the Demon Lord. Right?
Yeah. Shez Demon Lord was technically it was.
I still technically call bullshit because it shouldn't have been possible. Yeah. Because I could have just kept doing that thing over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Bullshit, but I could have done it.
That's true.
Yeah. So but Otto cannot die. Let's put it. I refuse.
I like the idea, Doc. I think like throwing a bunch of different leads into it to where like it's a Pyrrhic victory at best. Like, sure, they all might die, but they can still technically accomplish what they're doing.
Yeah, exactly.
But then we see how they react both in character and out of character. It's like, well, will they try to save their own skin, and this isn't going to happen?
Well, basically, it would be again going back to what I was watching tonight. It'd be a Rogue One situation where, you can accomplish your mission, but you're going to die. How are you going to deal with that? Handle that? Right. Are you going to be okay with that? Are you going to try and save your own skin?
Are you going to die complaining about the rules, complaining to the GM?
Yeah, exactly.
Are you going to die, or are you going to die well and make an awesome RP, awesome scene, and go down in a blaze of glory where people are just like, "Fuck yeah, that character was awesome." That's
we're looking for people. We're looking for people who know how to and want to have a good death.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and that comes from the most killed character player on D&D.
There's no doubt.
But
Doc, okay, let's go this. Yeah. Doc, please list your characters that have died.
My characters that have died. Well, starting.
Okay, let's go. PvP died first and see if there's any difference.
Okay. PvP died. That was one game. I don't even remember the name of the game, but I remember Lance. Yeah, Lance. Yep. And the first game I played on Blades and Blasters was Mortals or Hunter. Yeah, Hunter the Vigil. Yeah, Hunter the Vigil. And I played a character named Lance who tried to save his own skin and got turned on and got killed. Then I played another character. This is the one I forget the name of the game of, but he tried to do what was asked of him.
Oh yes,
and
Cypher.
He tried to do what was asked of him, but everyone turned against him, and he got killed in that game.
Song of Ice and Fire. Yeah,
yes.
Was that what it is? Song of Ice and Fire?
Yes.
The slaves or something like that?
Yeah, you guys were all slaves, and
you
had the opportunity to not be slaves, and you still wanted to be a slave, I guess. And then you and Malphane ended up getting crucified.
Yep, that's right.
So that technically wasn't a PvP, but okay.
Yeah.
I got turned on.
I mean, we both pretty much took each other out, and then we got dragged away as we were bleeding. Like,
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
Yes.
Then from there, I went to. You guys are gonna have to help me. There's so many deaths. What was next?
One is currently in the works in an active campaign.
End of the world, gelato guy.
Gelato.
That wasn't PvP, but yeah, he died.
That wasn't PvP, but I did die.
What was the other PvP one that he died in?
I think there's at least one or two more.
Yeah, I think you're right. I've died so many times though; it's hard to keep track of. Well, shit.
There's definitely one upcoming.
Yeah, there's
probably.
If I have anything to do with it.
What? I don't know about the storyline.
Oh, both of you.
Oh, I didn't mean to drag you into this, Bo.
I'm just going to drive away. I
didn't mean to drag you in this. Sorry, man.
Yeah, maybe is that really all it?
Yeah, I think there are more deaths.
Hey, wait. Let's get back to Val. How can hey, what the fuck did I do, man?
You helped him escape.
You're driving him.
I'm driving him where?
I've got an RPG.
You really don't know?
Name on it.
Wait. He really doesn't know.
He doesn't know because not got a chance to circle back.
I don't watch all the fucking games.
You're too busy building Tor. So fuck you, Bo.
I'm not building Tor. If I'm not playing Cyberpunk, it's because I'm not invited or I'm working.
Oh yeah.
So tell me the fuck. What the fuck's up?
Yes, we shall tell you offline what you have gotten yourself into.
I give myself this shit.
You went
Nero, you noodle eating motherfucker.
You noodle eating motherfucker.
I'll fucking if I die, I gotta go out good. I gotta go out well.
Yeah, we'll blow you up. It's fun.
But coming back to point, these two things. Why it's so important is our GMs, unlike D&D GMs, are not going to look for balance. GMs are not going to set up encounters for you to potentially win. GMs are there to create a story and a world and a believable scenario. Every encounter is not set up for a win. If you as a player do not detect that through your character and you walk into it, a GM is not going to pull his punches. And that's what we mean by maturity as well. As a player, as a GM, we are going to create a scenario and a place and a time where bad decisions lead to bad consequences. And
I've pulled some punches before.
Yeah, I mean, you try to, right? But you won't sometimes, right? Like you're not going to say, oh, I have X number of like level 5 monsters and 3
Oh,
level 6
right. Yeah,
monsters
sure.
and 4 level 2 monsters against like 6 level 5 players. And fuck that shit. None of that happens. If the rolls go well, the rolls go well. If they don't, they don't. Like Spider's every eye roll, he was not pulling his punches. There were spiders being thrown every fucking eye roll, right?
We just rolled a bunch of
Yeah.
shitty rolls.
Yeah, exactly.
It was
right?
awful.
So-
That was the worst rolling like I've ever had in like a combat.
I counted how many eyes that
It was
was.
like 12 or something like that.
No.
More than that.
They're
From start of
talking about
session,
they're talking about Tor, a Tor
I know.
game.
I know. Yeah.
from start of
Yeah.
session, it was 26. We had 26 eyes in that
Wow.
game.
Wow.
That's
Yeah.
a D12.
And 14 of those were spider eyes, at least. At least.
I know I rolled several, and Chris rolled like 3 times.
Chris
as much as
was
I
the
did.
king of. I had 2 eyes. Chris had like 9. Chris had more eye rolls than spiders have legs.
Yeah, when I RP with Chris, I have a lot of eye rolls too. So
Yeah.
we all did.
Rare Earth relics. Darkness.
Rare Earth relics.
Rare Earth relics.
Yes.
Best. Let's talk about all the great memes from Chris.
We have a lot of great memes from a lot of players.
Yes,
a lot of
all
great
of it.
stuff.
Yeah.
We have a good culture. I think we're building our own online culture that is very irreverential and great.
Yeah.
I'm still
I still like to make fun of Sim.
Hey, how's it going?
How's it going?
Hey, how's it going?
Is that the one where he nuked the city? That's the one?
Yeah, no, he caused the city. He caused 400,000 people, including 4 PCs, to die. Oh no, okay, two to die, 2 to be maimed and crippled for the rest of their life, and 1 to credit as the sole survivor.
Mm-hmm. Ghost almost had like a Zypher moment after that. I think just almost. He was just like, "What the fuck, man?"
No,
Why
yeah,
would you do that.
The moment it was said, I just blinked. I was like, "What?"
So the situation is this guy is sitting there with like a weapon of mass destruction, a biological weapon strapped to his chest. And Sim's guy is this like sneaky guy and crawls up the side of this building.
Scaled a fucking building.
Yeah, snuck in the window, all good. The guy's facing the door, so Sim's behind him. And he's like, okay, and everybody else is outside the door waiting to get in. And Sim's like, okay, because I listened to it today, actually.
Which game is this?
This is Dark Heresy.
It's posted in channel.
Yeah, and so he's like, can I sneak to the door? I was like, no. He's like facing the door, just very stoic, just sitting there. And he's like, okay, He's like, well, I don't know if I could actually sneak up behind him. And I remember very vaguely, I was like, that's probably what you should do, or just shoot him. I whatever. And he didn't do any of those things. And instead he says, hey, how's it going? The guy releases this biological weapon and kills Ghost, kills
Raven.
Rob, and Sim is the guy who survived. Sim and North survive.
Sim North and Mitchell's guy.
And the reason North survived is because he's such a dickhead in game. He steals like a rebreather randomly. Where I was like giving them the option way earlier in the session. There's rebreathers right there. Do you want to steal them? He's like, yeah, I'll steal one. Because he was such a dickhead, right?
That's pretty classic North.
Yeah, I was really wondering if he would do it just because, and he did, yeah. So.
Of all the shit you could do, right? Like, oh, is there any way I can see any wires? Like, he could ask, hey, how's it going? I could have fucking just did that. And the thing is, like, when I looked at it later, I basically could have just, like,
Open
the door, said, hey, man, can we talk? And then just spent a fate point and avoided the whole situation. Just talking to him. If we were gonna go the route of talking to dude, then I should have just fucking done it. But instead, Sim goes in this real big long. He does everything great. Crawls outside the building, passes it. Gets in the window all sneaky, passes it. Hey, how's it going?
It was ridiculous. It was so
That's
funny.
So which
awesome.
Ah, we
which
love you,
character
Sam.
of yours?
We love you,
Which character
Sam.
of yours passed away? Django? Jangus?
No. It was some old guy. It was a
Okay.
one session character. It was because Jangus was I kept Jangus out because I wanted to keep the core group with Jangus.
Yeah.
Because my thinking is that the Inquisitor's like, oh, these guys work well together. And the prize like, keep my
Yeah,
this
makes
isn't
sense.
for you. And so I took the old man, but the old man he got, put his
Literally, North in that game was so fucking lucky multiple times.
every
Alive.
game.
Every game. dude.
Every game he gets saved. I hate
Cockroaches.
Vanso. I hate him. I fucking hate Vanso. He does not die. He is shit, and he just won't fucking die.
It's almost been a year since I've ran that game.
Yeah, you should run that game. There's a lot of good
Cool things that have happened.
memories.
Yeah.
Yes, very very interesting things have happened in that game. Even though it's like we didn't run very long. There were not many sessions. One of our ex-players, it was perfect. I think that's one of the reasons why you sometimes want to push players during recruiting, because one of our ex-players just flamed out in game, which was good to see.
Grant.
Where I think the reason I get so salty and so like me is I can see people do shit which other people sometimes do not observe, and I'm like, this person is shit. They're like, no, let's give this person a chance, and I'm like, no, this person is shit, and eventually the shit just rises to the top, and that was one session. It's like, yeah, there you go. It's what was that? He said like he didn't like the rules.
I
He didn't like the way
hate this.
Yeah.
I hate this. I hate this system, and I hate
Yeah.
this setting. And I'm like, well, why the hell did you fucking play then? Would you? Okay, go back and play your Powered by the Apocalypse. I get it.
Yes. And then me, of all people, trying to be a good BNBer, chose to play a D100 game. Oh, fuck me. And joined that campaign. But hey, I did some interesting stuff.
Hey, you've been in 2 Warhammer 40K games,
Yes.
and a Call of Cthulhu game. So there's
Yes.
3 D100 games.
Well, and Eclipse Phase.
and Eclipse
Yes.
Phase.
Oh,
You
God.
single-handedly saved a session of Dark Heresy
Yes.
by rolling under 10 like 4 times in a row.
A barbarian
barbarian.
from a barbarian
Well-
world is like he like launches the ship out and is able to fly it for a little bit. And
In a shuttle with a guy whose sole interest is technology, and a cop who has been around technology his entire life. A man who has been using a fucking sword for the better part of 2 or 3 decades learned how to fly in less than 10 seconds.
And that wasn't the only amazing thing he did that session.
No, there's a
that was
whole
good.
sequence.
Yeah.
Post
Yeah.
the last 20 to 30 minutes of that session, and it's the Zypher Fun Time show.
But he hates D100.
Yeah.
Decapitated a rogue trader.
Yeah.
One swing.
had to hit the head, or else it wouldn't have done anything. But hit head and Righteous Fury
Twice.
And I thought it was like a simple
Yeah, it
story.
it was like 27 damage after toughness.
Toughness dog. It's like
Mhm.
Well, and I have to mention that he also, just as the player he is and our peer that he is, despite his roles, his shitty roles, he actually saved the Call of Cthulhu into the ancient trees as well, coming in and rescuing that game from the shitty RPing that was being done prior to him joining.
Yes. I think it's I mean I
think D100s are great for you. I think you should play more of them.
Let me say this. I loved every D100 game I was in, not because of the D100. It was just because of everything else, like the setting, like the Dark Heresy setting, the Rogue Trader setting, Into the Tree setting. It's just the whiff factor and the and the crunching of the numbers. I think that's for me is what gets to me, and not because I'm not saying because I think it's more, to be honest, it's because I spend so much time thinking what I'm going to say and how I'm going to say it that I never really think about, okay, I'm going to make this roll. What are all my, positive modifiers? Yeah, what are my options? Most of the time in any of these games, like Ted's telling me, look, have you done this? Or Ghost telling me, have you done that? And I'm like, oh shit, I've not done that, right? I am more about, am I going to tell someone that they that the asshole is going to remain puckered?
You know what though? That's great though. I mean, because that's the GM's responsibility. You just say what you want to do. The GM will figure out,
That's
what the mechanics are to actually make that happen. So
yeah, but I think
don't even worry about that.
Yeah, but you look at a game like 2D20, and if you don't know how to spend momentum, it is a super big hindrance.
That's true for UD20. I was just talking about D100.
I mean, it's kind of like 2D20 is a little different, but like I found this in Star Wars with the new players for Star Wars, and Star Trek, and they don't really have a concept of what they can do with their particular after it's rolled. So they know that they can buy more dice. That's pretty simple. But after, they don't know how to spend their momentum. And so it's like me being like, you can spend your momentum this way, this way, and this way, and this way, and all. And so just like it just drags.
Yeah. Momentum-based system, I think it depends on that.
Also, I think it's unfair to like load the GM with me as a player, like, expecting a GM to remember all of my character's traits that add positive, negative modifiers, right? Like, I mean, yes, GM and most of our GMs. So this is for people who watch our games or watching this. Like every GM that's all of these guys are talking right now are GMs, active GMs on the server, and we all do everything we can to make a player feel comfortable, right? But we as players also know that, hey, if the player took a little more initiative to know these rules or these concepts better, then things will just flow better. And
says the guy who doesn't like to read a rule book.
Yes, that's true. That is true. That's true.
Yeah.
You're making me cry, man.
I'm horrible at reading rule books. Yes, I must say that. Yes, I find them extremely boring and extremely tedious. If I could just have Ghost build all my characters and then just figure out the poems and the ditties and the shanties that I must sing, I'll be more than happy.
Ghost will build all of your characters, all of his characters, all of everyone's characters. Ghost will build.
I would absolutely do it if anyone.
Dark Heresy has like I would say probably
about 40.
30 to 40.
And Numenera has more than that. If we had,
and that never even got played.
Yep, never even got played. Numenera has 60 plus characters that I made. I would just sit down when I was in training for my job. I would just sit down on like after work because I'd get off around 4, nothing to do. It's like, guess I'll make some Numenera characters and just spend 6 hours making Numenera. Like if anybody ever asks for help with a character or wants a character built, just ask.
I think I'm going to do that from now on.
Fuck it, go ahead.
Just build my character. I'll just figure out the rest.
Just tell me what you want. Tell me where he's going to be from. Done. Tell him to give me access. Yeah. Tell your GM to give me access to the sheet.
And the thing, I think, the other problem where this thing became like kind of in lore about Zypher was the fact that in 2017 I had a lot more time, so I was basically joining every freaking game I could get in on, which was not already filled. So it became I'm reading like 4 different rule books in a week, and I'm like, fuck this shit. I want to play. I'm not going to fucking read 4 rule books, so I'm not reading it. That's like, oh, how can you not read? What are you? I'm not fucking reading, dude. I play.
The reason I get pissed at you is because I secretly, or not secretly, blame you for our deaths in Shaz the Demon Lord.
Oh yes, I think so. That's
And my favorite character ever.
Because you didn't read the rule book, you all died.
This guy is burning with fire, and Zypher's like, I'm going to run up here to him. Oh, I burned. Yeah.
Yes, that's true.
My
That's
faith
true.
will protect me.
I literally
Yeah,
I was probably
my
as
favorite.
salty as I've ever been for like in character like things like thanks day. I was so angry. I was like, 'cause I didn't want that game to end anyway, right? I had a lot more people to swindle. Come on.
As always, next season when the world ends.
If it happens.
That's true.
No fun. Shit's changed a lot for poor Otto. His son's a necromancer in a crypt somewhere. His bodyguard's gone.
Yeah, his
How am I
bodyguard just
going to
told him to fuck
survive
off.
on my own? I need people to pull me in a cart.
Nope. You'll surely own a store somewhere out in the countryside.
I even gave you a bed, son. You're well treated.
God, I have to work on a fucked up voice for that one now. Years of being underground with dark utterances.
Hey, Bo, you still there with us?
No, he's not there.
He's not snoring, so
He took
not-
oh shit. He took his mic off out of consideration for when he takes a piss.
no, that's surprising.
Yeah, it's
Back in the day, it was like
Yeah.
like he was peeing right next to the microphone.
Wait, was it him or was it Doc?
No,
No,
peeing-
Doc. Doc is snoring. Bo is pissing. I'm here. Yeah, see? I'm here.
He's typing. I'm here.
Probably talking to the wife.
Okay.
I would assume.
Well, so that's. I think this is one of our more jovial.
Yeah, everybody's happy.
Well,
It's-
it's not.
Oddly enough,
It's not salty and saltier talking to each other
yeah.
over drinks.
Yeah. Over drinks is fine. We
Yeah,
just
it's-
complain about other people and we're happy.
Fuck that guy.
Yeah.
Yes.
I agree.
Did you see what that fucking guy did? Yeah, I can't believe that fucking guy did that. We really are the best. It's amazing. Fuck this guy. Fuck that guy.
Yeah.
So the highlights essentially are we have a recruiting drive coming up. We have several games coming up for recruits that we're going to be running, and hopefully we'll be getting several new players. At least 3 players would be amazing if we could do that. So
What are you running, Doc? What'd you?
I'm gonna be running Hollow Earth Expedition Hex. Hollow Earth Expedition is a ubiquity game. It has not been run before on Blades and Blasters, so it'll be a new system to us. I've read the book several times now, getting used to the system, and it is a very, very cool system. It's very pulpy, very 1930s, 1940s Indiana Jones, Rocketeer style adventure. I'm looking forward to it. So, what the fuck did you say?
Yes.
I
So
was in the middle of my spiel.
That's a good spiel.
that's a good spiel.
Hollow Earth Expedition coming to Blades and Blasters
Yes.
for all of you new players.
And just
Microphone dysfunction.
yeah. So
Hey, get away from there!
Dysfunction.
Quit rubbing dicks.
Rubbing dicks. Bluetooth crosstalk.
Oh, sorry, guys. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
I didn't say anything.
Savage.
So just so you
Oh,
guys
fuck.
know, we've run 47 or 8 systems. So
What?
Coming up on.
and then we probably will have another 4 or 5 next month.
Yeah, coming up on 50 plus separate unique systems.
Nice.
Yes.
That's
Good
I
deal.
think our
not
still
100% positive.
That's heavy.
around what 22 games a month. I think that's been one of our
That's the new average, probably.
new average.
Around
Yeah,
there, last couple
Yeah.
months.
and I think what we have run close to 150 games throughout 2018.
Oh, I can tell you.
More than that,
It's over
probably.
200. It's over 200. Hold on,
I've been in
Okay.
148 of them, so
Oh my god, that's incredible. Are you serious?
yeah. Does this face look like it's lying to you?
Oh god, the face needs some vitamin D. It needs to get outside.
Vitamin D.
That beautiful.
All Okay, here are our stats.
I freely give my vitamin D.
through November. Through November, okay. We have played a total of 207 games.
Oh god.
And Ghost has played 148 of them, yes.
Wow.
Oh god.
That's through October. We don't even have
That's
stats
through November.
yet.
That's through
It's in
November.
November, and
Yeah,
so we're not even
November.
done with this month yet.
Yeah, no. And the full
Get
stats.
some reps in.
So through November, I've run 49 games. Bo's run 33. X's run 28. That's the top three. As far as sessions played, Ghost 148, myself 114, Sim 90, and X 81, and then Doc 80, and Matt at 78. But she's been here like 4 months less than everybody.
Oh,
Yeah.
Matt, yeah. That's a
Yeah.
different.
Day shift
2019.
sim.
That's the most.
Day shift sim.
Day shift sim. So this it's okay. So the legend of Sim. Sim joins B&B as someone who works mainly nights. His availability to join games is maybe just the weekends.
Was
And yeah, mostly just the weekends if he's free. But he does join a few games, and I like to say the story is that he loves B&B so much that he chose to quit his job and switch to regular daytime hours.
I don't think you're that far from being correct. Honestly,
and he switched jobs to daytime hours so he could play B&B more, and that is what
lives. We changed lives.
we change lives. We make a difference. Join us.
We're here for you.
Now Ghost is going to get rickets from his vitamin D deficiency. He got rickets.
We play mostly in the evenings, so there is no sunlight
He
for vitamin
doesn't
D.
look like a man with rickets to me.
I have office space next to windows. I'm good. It's fine.
He needs rum and oranges.
Yes.
I just need a job that keeps me outside, probably.
I saw him with a beer one time.
Yeah, once.
Yeah. Oh my god, I even commented on that. You finally drink a fucking beer and it's a goddamn Corona. Fuck, man.
That's right. That's right. That's my choice of beer if I drink. I don't have a sophisticated palate for beer. Like you fucking losers. But to continue on the January portion of it, I'll be doing the Only War one shot, 40k stuff. Anybody who's seen the channel has seen we've done Dark Heresy, Rogue Trader. It's same D100 type thing, a little bit more. Probably the most deadly. Well, one of the most deadly 40k systems. I would argue that it's on par with Dark Heresy. Sometimes worse in certain aspects, just because you get like no fate points to do anything. So Pure Guardsmen die like nothing. So it'll be an interesting session for the Greens, one shot. Just got to get together sheets and some macros. Just because of how different the skills are. I may need to work on the skill select macro to make that run correctly. I know we had some issues with Rogue Trader, but try to get that to run correctly for it. But Otherwise, I mean, it should really slow things down if we end up having to roll off sheet. But
It's a
and then
one-shot.
yeah, it's a one shot. Not gonna do too much. For the macros and shit, the weapon macros will be there. But and then spring will either be more Rogue Trader, or like we said earlier, we'll do our first proper mecha campaign with a mecha system.
Oh, look at that.
So I'll be spending my time learning about that so I can properly run it. And it's, as Zypher said earlier, it's already sheeted on Roll20. So it'll be one of the two. We'll see what people are feeling like or what seems good for everybody's schedules. I'd like to get as much of the original Rogue Trader crew back together.
Yeah. Zypher, what are you going to do after Cyberpunk? Take a little break from GMing and then come back with Shrek, or?
I don't know. I am definitely taking a break from GMing after Cyberpunk. I want to play more, and then I don't know. Maybe Trek. I don't know.
What's happening at the end of the year? What do you think?
End of the year is 2019. End of the year is. I think,
we hope.
We hope that Modiphius is going to be kind enough to release Dune, and
I think we all want to run that.
Yes, we all want to run that. We all want to play that, and there is, even though it's a year out, I am still thinking how I want to run Dune, what I want to set up for you guys. Yeah, it's a partial wet dream that I have right now.
Maybe we should talk about 31 Days of Dune.
31 Days of Dune. Yes.
The entire server running Dune games.
Yes. Yes. If it's a 2D20 game,
it is.
And it is. I'm hoping it's a very social centric game, because that's what I want to run.
Sure. Yeah, it is. It'll be like the personal combat will be very little. I'm guessing you might have some warfare type stuff, but
yeah,
mostly it'll be social type stuff.
And personal combat's extremely deadly, from what I recall. Yeah. Like you can just be fucked. And
because that's what even the world is. And I think if anybody's played any of my games where I GM, they know that I'm not I don't do well in combat as a GM. Just because it's the same thing as a player I struggle with as a GM. I'm, again, all the time thinking what I want to say to hook my players into the world. And I feel that as soon as I enter combat, everything just slows down around me, and I feel very bogged down. So if it is social, that's basically what I'm looking for. If I can set up a purely social campaign, where as a GM I'm still a player, I'm writing things that I want to tell my players and twist them, hurt them by words, make them angry with my NPCs by words. That's what I'm looking forward to.
I think this is a really good topic to be on. You, of course, looking forward to Dune. That's great. Yes. I think a lot of people are looking forward to Dune, especially by Modiphius. They have such a great track record. I'm stoked that an IP like Dune is being put out by Modiphius. You know it's in good hands. But also on that same track, looking forward to what's coming out in 2019. I think that's a good track to get on. What are you looking forward to in 2019? Obviously, Zypher is looking forward to Dune by Modiphius. That's an awesome game to be looking out for. What I'm personally looking forward to is Android by Fantasy Flight through their Genesis system. That is something I am super excited about, and I think has really great potential of being a great game. Only because the Android universe is so rich and developed and thought through already. They have so much out there for it already that it's going to be just such a well-developed world that they're putting out there. It's not something that they're just creating from scratch. It's something that they've had a lot of experience going into. So I'm really looking forward to Android by Fantasy Flight through the Genesis system in 2019.
Have you
And
looked at all into the Genesis system? Have you played it at all, Doc?
I have not played the Genesis
nobody's
system at
played it,
all.
so
No,
you
no.
guys, yeah.
Something to
No.
look at. It's a totally different experience, and Zypher can maybe talk to it a little bit.
yes, I think for me, getting understanding the dice system is will take some time. It's just the way I am with those things. But overall, the way the skills are set up, the way the skills grow, the way I use the skills in the game for GLH. Yes, if Android is going to use all of that, I am definitely going to look forward to playing that. I'm personally, the reason I want to take a break is I'm hoping the other GMs are going to run some games that I'm really interested in playing.
What are you really interested in playing?
This one, right? Any game that is like sci-fi based, where I'm like a player, not like Android, right? Whether it's like sci-fi, cyberpunk, or it's like a space opera. I just love the technology aspects so much that I want to, I don't know, like push boundaries in the game, saying, "Oh, let's try this and let's try that, and let's do this or that." So I'm looking forward to games like that a lot more.
I want to run Android for Zypher.
Yes. It's and I think personally,
I'm not going to be a driver in that game.
What I'm also looking forward to with my downtime as a player is what I've been saying about like the voices. Is I want to try and learn to portray different voices, like really try, like put the effort in, like as if I'm actually building a game, and spend some time on that. Because when I'm GMing, a lot of my effort and mind cycles go into thinking what's gonna, like for example, like CP right now. I'm telling you, when I'm awake, if I'm shitting, I'm taking a bath, I'm eating, I'm watching TV, I am thinking CP all the fucking time, right? I mean, it is it is a unique experience for me. But the experience is I'm thinking all the time. I'm thinking what's Doc's character is going to do, what Matt's character is going to do, what Ted's character is going to do, and then how Ghost is going to smoke on the side, and and be
And act
all
bored.
like, and act
The
bored
board,
and
the
be
board voice.
all Spike Spiegel on
Yeah.
the side, and still come in and start fucking blowing people with his shotgun. So I'm thinking all of that all the time, and thinking, okay, how is the story going to lead? What is Yang going to say to to Papa Takeda when he meets him? What is Papa Takeda going to say it so that like Yang is fucking twisted and Yin is devastated? Like, these are the things that like occupy my mind right now.
I know what they think they're gonna do.
Yes, but it's like, for me, it is fun. Like, see, for example, to give you, everybody who's watching, give an example. There are things I've said in the game as a GM that is pushing Matt's character over the edge. If she didn't start thinking that she is going to kill a particular character in the game, by the time the session was done with what I've said to her as one of the other NPCs, her hate has grown, right? So for me, seeing stuff like that, me being able to use words and formulate sentences to that effect, where I can see immediate like reactions, I think for me that's a huge personal win. Like I just I gain a lot of energy from that, a lot more energy than, say, if I just set up like a game or set up, it's like, if I can use my words to twist a character, it's fucking sublime, man. So that's the other thing I'm looking forward to is Witcher, the Pirate King that I'm trying to play. I'm really looking forward to that. There is, even though it's fantasy and it is not my my wheelhouse. The ability to again get into extremely sordid and intricate social interactions, I think I'm looking forward to that. A pirate king who has to be a pirate on a ship, but this debonair, suave, aristocratic person off the ship, so that he can live two different lives. Yes.
I'm sure the chest hair will be immaculate.
Yes, the chest hair through my revealing clothes will be immaculate.
I love how one of our best players, Zypher, came here through Dungeons and Dragons and says, "Fantasy isn't my wheelhouse."
It is. It is.
Not
I know.
anymore.
Not anymore.
And he plays in all his fantasy games.
Yes, I know, but I just there's something about sci-fi that I just find extremely liberating. Like I don't know. I can't
Thor is
explain it.
fantasy, by the way.
Yes, but I don't. Okay.
It's real life.
When I'm playing Tor, you guys may not see this, but if you're sitting next to me, you would see that most of the time I have like 6 different tabs open, looking for poetry that matches the scene that's ongoing. Like I have literally looked up hundreds of poems and discarded poems real time based on the RP. So for me, Tor is more like I don't even like with Goody. I'm not even paying attention to the fights. I'm not paying attention to the travel. I'm not paying attention. I'm literally not paying attention to all the mechanics. I'm just paying attention to like the stuff Aravul is telling Vidar, or the arguments that Aravul is having with Arthaner, and how Goody wants to kind of bring peace to all of that, and then the poems I'm supposed to kind of recite for this. Like I'm looking like, oh, we are now in victory, oh, now we are in sadness. I'm looking for poems of shadow, poems of light, poems of love, poems of angst.
Why don't
poems
you
of
just look
anger.
at Mana War lyrics? Like, man. Oi, fight,
Yeah.
fight.
Yeah, so see, that's
Which
the thing.
they're amazing, honestly.
Which they're amazing.
but-
Like, see, that's the thing. So while he has the poems for war, I have the poems for for the quiet time when we're sitting around fire and talking about old lore and wondering our place in Middle Earth. See,
Well, that's perfect for a Hobbit, right?
yes, exactly. So that I think so. While I say that fantasy is not my wheelhouse, Goody as a character.
I think what you mean is poorly written and poorly run fantasy is not your wheelhouse. That's what you mean. That's what you mean.
Yes.
Like wizards casting fireballs and shit.
Yeah, fuck
Ain't
that.
your thing.
Yeah. Yes.
And I don't think it is. I don't think we have a game like that.
No, I mean we don't have a game like that. But how do I say this? So you know how CP or GLH or any of the more modern games are very gritty, right? For me, at least, and this might be wrong, and don't take it as it's like anything else.
Rudolph.
GLH is pretty gritty, right? Like,
okay.
but if you flip it around, a game that has the same amount of grittiness was like, say, Shadows of the Demon Lord, right? Where you are, you're in a small town, you're moving from maybe a couple of different villages. I found the whole experience very, very limiting. Now, it was run by an excellent GM. There was nothing wrong with the game. There was nothing wrong with the setting. There was nothing wrong with the other players I was playing with. But like, I spend a lot of time just thinking how I can solve this problem. Like, what tools does my character have to solve this problem, or say this thing to the NPC, and like stuff like that. So or move here or do something, and then I found like that setting to be restricting. So
let me kind of like interject a little bit. Like, my thing in that setting is very similar. Like, how do I say these things? But I was using what I had at my disposal to do that kind of thing. It's like, I'm this shyster, and how do I get people to give me what I want, and how do I get over on them by my words, and how do I convince them? I don't have any technology. I don't have any like widgets or whiz bangs to do that. I have to do it with my words, and I have to do it with my intellect. And yeah, I could roll for that stuff too, but it wasn't just like that. I mean, for instance, the one good example is me getting that pistol off that guy.
Yeah.
Oh, you have this old pistol, it doesn't work. Here's all this, I have this money for you. I mean, wouldn't you rather have a gold coin than a pistol that, is dusty, I mean, that kind of thing. Or, trying to get ammo for it. I mean, simple kind of like things like that. Or how do I get this guy to eat the soup that we poisoned,
Just have Wrecker throw it at him. But no, Otto was such a good talker. Like Ted did such a good job with that. He was able to talk guards into letting him keep pistols in a jail cell.
So I think yes, I think that's what you're trying to get at is I think if I am, and I think that's what I'm trying with Witcher is like more like a face character or a social character.
Well, look at what's his face from Conan and the 2 preludes you played. I mean, that's.
Oh boy, yes.
Oh, come on! Look at the general.
Exactly, yeah. The general, the
admiral, or whatever he was.
Yes, El Baron, the face of middle management. Yeah, so I think yes, the face of middle management.
Help me, help you.
What can I do to make you succeed? What tools can I give you?
Oh man, it is. I mean,
pirate middle management.
Pirate. It's man. Like sometimes when I think about that game, it's so sad. Fuck.
Traveler.
Yeah.
Could have been
fucking fantastic.
It was
could have been. Oh my god!
Game that I was like, I can't do this. I can't do this.
You saw the blue character, and you.
Well, that was pretty much where it started. I was like, well, I already knew this was kind of coming because Swamp co-GM'd a game with me, kind of.
Oh yes,
that a Song of Ice and Fire game, and I was like, he didn't do anything till the day before, and I was like, I was like, I ended up building all the screens for him, telling him what to do, and I was like,
yeah. If I didn't like my character so stinking much in that game, the fact that in the first game I was basically shut out of the whole second half of the game because they went into combat, and I was on the ship. So he ran an entire lengthy combat, went through every single step the entire way, and essentially I was out of the game. I was just like, what the fuck? Yeah, it was horrible.
It's yes. Maybe yeah, and maybe that's something I might try and run again because
shut up, don't tease me.
No, I'm not, but dude, you shut up. You need to give me good availability. You get distracted pretty quickly on other shit, and I fucking lose you to other places that you're like, oh fucking, I want to play this. No, fucker, play my game. Then you play the other shit.
No. You never even started the game.
Yes, because hey, I would have started the game. We were flying way too high. And we were going to get burnt. So we brought things in control. But yes, I think like that's the other game I've seen on this server that just attracts people no matter what. Like even fucking character gen. People just sit and watch people playing like rolling characters.
That's a cool character gen.
Yeah. So I mean Swan for me was supposed to be a space opera, which then mutated into CP, and I fucking love CP. So I still need to do a space opera. That's one thing I need to check off my list. So yes, maybe
do Coriolis or something.
Yeah.
I think yes. And we could just move the El Baron from. I mean, El Baron is a philosophy, right?
I agree though. Taking some time off, man. After you've been jamming all the time.
Yeah, so I want to also
never stop wanting to jam. I never stop having ideas and never stop wanting to build. And never I'm building like three games at the same time. It's just like I
think it's more of a real life thing than anything else.
Well, yes, sure, yeah.
Like, and I think also I need to be honest that
Yeah.
this is one of my 3 hobbies, and I'm getting split across the other 2 with this one. So
What are your other 2 hobbies, I forget?
Brewing beer and flying remote control airplanes. So
I like the brewing beer.
yes, I got extremely pissed at you when you made certain comments on the server about Guinness and pale ales. But we shall have that discussion in person when I come up.
You don't know what you're talking about.
As you all can see, Doc and I have a very strange relationship. There's a lot of hate involved most of the time, and then there's some amount of love sprinkled all over. So.
It's brown on brown violence.
Yes, brown on brown violence.
Brown on browner violence.
Yeah.
Say something, Doc. Doc, you don't look that brown to me.
What? Are you kidding me? Look at me.
No, you
look
don't
at me.
look brown.
Oh man,
I call him. I call him my beige brother. My beige brother.
I think Tet looks more brown than Doc does.
Please.
I can blind people with my pants.
I don't know about
There's
that.
no way.
I'm a very pale Scotsman.
Just that.
Yeah, unfortunately, only someone whiter than Tet would say that.
Hey, so
I'm not brown at all.
talking about all of us, there is a possibility in 2019 that we might do a live session, right?
Yes.
And we should try and record that and put it on our YouTube channel. See all of us play in person. I know we don't do videos of ourselves when playing. Which I personally think is good, but I think that'll be a pretty cool session to be all there and take a video of it and see the faces. I think it's very important, especially for people when they feel my salt. They should picture my face.
We should do Catan in real
Yeah,
life.
we should do Catan, dude. I'm
And then
telling you,
flip
yes.
table, and especially
Like
with a
referee.
flip table.
Yes, we
After
should do
you take
Catan in person for a 2-hour session, and we are all role playing the shit out of it.
They're not going to recognize your voice after you take your time off and work on your different voices.
Yes,
They won't know who they're listening to.
exactly.
Zavi's going to be doing Cockney next.
Because I was like, he just sounds like an Indian guy.
It still sounds like an Indian guy.
How like the session with me is that Humbert the
Oh,
Indian?
so he was just RPing an Indian guy the whole time? Really from
it's
Texas?
Yeah.
Wow, that accent is really good.
Yeah. Mahasarpa.
Yeah, Mahasarpa.
But no, that was Rogue, right? He thought I was putting on an Indian accent for the entire session. Yeah.
That's pretty damn
You
good.
Dude, you should have just gone with it, man. You should have just let it ride.
Fucking
I play
Rogue.
Indians every character.
And then next time you talk to yeah, Rogue. I thought you liked this accent so much. I just thought that I do it all the time. Would you like to buy a Slurpee?
God. Tom Peeper's out. Tom Peeper's
Yeah,
out.
Tom Peeper's out in force. Thank you. Come again.
Hey, thank you.
I have work in 8 hours, so I'll see everybody later.
Oh no, you're pulling a bow. You're pulling a bow.
I'm tired, guys. I gotta go.
8 hours. Like I'm already so sad that I have to work on Christmas Eve.
I gotta get up in 4 hours, but that's fine.
Jesus.
You gotta preserve that lean muscle mass. Go to bed, dude.
No, it's already falling apart. It's winter. It always happens this way because I don't do. There's no other cardio I want to do other than play basketball.
Yeah.
So it's just like
You're right. You look like a weak piece of shit right now. You should just go to bed.
Well, the little kids are on spring break or on winter breaks. You can't play against the younglings.
no. I
Basketball.
could. No, I've played against middle schoolers. I don't give a shit.
I know you have.
I'll just
That's why I'm
crush
giving you shit.
I'll just crush them.
Cross
Because
over.
you told us that time. You're like, yeah, I went out there. There's a bunch of middle school kids.
Yeah, fuck it. They're all these kids are huge now. There are kids out there bigger than I was. It's like, how old are you? 14. What?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
Four- 14.
6'4".
He's out there throwing elbows.
Yeah, he's like dunking and shit. I'm like
It's-
5'7", man.
Well,
Like,
so
what the fuck?
well, that's not the real age. It's just how old the
Uh,
refugees tell you they are.
oh God, dude.
Tom Peeper is. I tell you, Tom Peeper really lives inside you somewhere.
Yes.
There's a little bit of peeper in all of this.
Yes. There's a
More
little bit of-
more Bo though.
Yeah, more Bo.
Absolutely.
Bo's got a little peeper in him.
It's that Republican voting habits, I think.
That's right. Gotta keep my shit in my own bank account.
All right.
Oh my god.
Later, folks.
Yeah, good night, dude.
Well,
How long have we been going, you think? Let's see, it's 1:20.
Like
been
2.5
going
hours.
a long time, and I got some work to do tomorrow for that session on the 27th because I'm not gonna have time on Christmas or the day after.
Yeah. I think with
I
that we
love
should.
I love that GLH game so far. By the way, I have adored it.
It is a fun game. I mean,
If you're having a good
I
time.
think there's something to be said about a three person.
Yeah, that's the route I'm going. I feel like in all my games is to keep the number down. I really,
dude,
really
I-
enjoy it. I
Totally.
really enjoy having three
Well,
people.
that's because you had like 6 or 7 before. It's
Yes, that's
like I
true.
would tell you, that's. I mean, it's
I gotta tell you. I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
Man, but it's also so hard to just tell people no, right? Like,
No, if they're your friends and they're
Yeah.
good.
I mean, CP started. CP started with Doc, Matt, and who's the third person?
Ghost, I
Yeah,
think.
yes. I have to tell you, Cypher, in the last session, you have 6 people playing.
Hey, are we
Like,
still
fight.
recording? Because I've got words for you. So with that, we should maybe just,
There's 6 people playing. Like, what are you gonna do? 6 people.
are
It's
we still
hard.
recording before I
Yes,
start?
we're definitely still recording.
Okay, fine.
Would like
You know
to-
what, Bo? Fuck you, man. You know what? Fuck you. You have run 6-player games for fucking 4 hours, right? And I've sat with you in those games. You cannot tell me then that CP has 6 players in it, right? You are just as integral to the CP game as all the other fucking 5 players, right? And I have actually done everything I can to make sure that I understand at the time sometimes that you've not been able to play because maybe the story went somewhere. But I was actually looking forward to coming and joining on that day. Maybe I had my own personal issues that I couldn't play, but 6 players shouldn't be a fucking reason for you to be like, oh, should I even join?
I
That
didn't
from
say that.
you of all
I didn't
players
say that.
to
I didn't
me
say that.
is very like, man, like you fucking ran a 6-player game. We played for 4 fucking hours. We all enjoyed it. So you cannot then turn around and tell me like, oh,
Goodbye,
there's 6 players. Do you
everyone.
need me?
Wait,